Hey, what's up guys? So today, I'm gonna take all these ingredients on the cutting board, cook them in one pot. We're doing red beans and rice. We're using 4 different types of meats. That's gonna be key in doing these red beans. I got this big ham steak. I've got some Louisiana hot links, bacon, gotta have your bacon, right? And I got this package of pork shoulder. Now what I do is I buy a whole pork shoulder roast and then I slice it into pieces, I vac seal them, I put them in the freezer. So I pulled this package out last night. It's probably about 1.5 pounds. It's gonna be perfect for what we're doing. I'm gonna cut it in little pieces and we're gonna have that, the ham, the bacon, the sausage, and I got all my vegetables. I got bell peppers, onions, garlic, carrot, celery, your basic mirepoix, lots of aromatics. That's really gonna help flavor up these beans. The beans are gonna be the rock star of this dish. But if you don't like beans, I would suggest watching just so you can see how I do the rice. It's red beans and rice, and they both gotta be perfect. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Okay, so what I like to do with my veggies is I'm gonna just give them all basically a rough chop. It would clean out these seeds. Because I'm gonna put it in the food processor. These veggies we're gonna puree up. Just like that. The top, little rough chop. Okay, I got my little pile of scraps we'll keep over here. We'll put the good stuff up here. I got my green bell pepper. We're gonna do the same thing. Just pull that top out. Just like that. I like to get as much of those white bits out as I can. Just do another rough chop. Same thing here. Put these together. Okay, just like that. Take off that end. And then same thing, once again, that's just a rough chop. We're gonna get as much of this as we can because we want all these aromatics. This is gonna give huge flavor in this pot of beans. My carrots, I already rinsed them. I give them a good scrubbing. You don't have to peel these things. Same thing, we're gonna cut off the ends. Just come with our scraps. And then the rest. Onion, same thing. We're gonna use 1 onion right now. And once again, we're just gonna chop this onion, kind of a rough chop. Okay. Okay, and let's not forget the garlic. So we're just gonna pull out 3 or 4 of these cloves, maybe 6. All right, just so we got those there. And what I like to do with the garlic, just to get these peeled, you know, everybody does this, you just give them a quick smash. Each one, just like that. Be careful that blade is not pointing up when you're gonna kind of have it angled down a little bit. I mean, just to be on the safe side. All right, we give these all a smash. And now look, it should just pop right out. All right, you see that garlic? No, that one's not behaving. Hey. Sometimes you gotta teach them a lesson. There we go, pops right out. Okay, the rest of these, they saw it happen. They're like, I'm not staying in. I'm not getting hit again. I'm coming out right now. Right? How about you? Oh yeah, that's what I thought. So we get all the garlic out, peel this up. It gets sticky. Okay, we are just about there. A couple more little whack, whack. There we go. Gotta have that garlic, right? Okay, that's it, guys. These now gonna go into the food processor. Okay. So guys, if you can't fit them all in, if your food processor is a little bit smaller, just do it in batches, or as it starts processing, it's gonna shrink up because it kind of liquefies. Then you can add more in and you can get it all probably in one pot, but just do it in little batches and that'll make it work. So I'm gonna throw the garlic in here too. We throw it all in. There we go. Okay, so I think we're ready. What we've done is we've essentially pureed all this down. So it's gonna break down. When it starts cooking in the beans, it's gonna like basically disappear. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna turn into flavor is what it's gonna happen. So let's set this aside and let's cut up some meat. Okay, so we're all wiped up. I like to do the veggies first. That way I don't have to really scrub the board before I go right into the meat. So now we're gonna do the meat. Let's start with the ham. I've got this piece of ham right here. Now it's got a little bone in it. I'm gonna leave that bone in, it's extra flavor. So I'm just gonna cut out some of these fatty pieces. We can get those out of the way, and I'm gonna cut right there and get that fatty piece out there. And then this stuff, just cut some little chunks. All right, a couple this way. And I'm gonna do a few more like this. And just do some rough chops. Okay, so I'm just gonna, man down. I'm gonna put this meat right into a little dish and we'll go right into the next. So now I bought these locally. These are our hot links, Louisiana style. I think if you're red beans and rice in it, you gotta have the hot links. So pull out a couple of these. And these, I'm just gonna cut some little rounds, just like that. Let's see, you can, oh man, it smells so good. It has a little bit of spicy smell. I can feel it in there. Has a great kind of smoky kielbasa-y smell at the same time. I can't wait to get into this one. Hey, hey, hey. And we'll put the hot links in a little dish here. All right. Next, we're gonna pull out some bacon. Just some fatty old bacon. It's gonna be good. I'm not gonna use all of it. This is like 1.5 pounds. I don't need that much. There's only 4 of us eating beans tonight here. We'll pull out some bacon just like that. This we're just gonna give a little chop, just like so. We're gonna brown this off and render the fat out. We're gonna cook most of the stuff in the fat from this. That's gonna be really, really flavorful. And the key to this dish is building flavors. So we get this bacon all chopped up. Let's see. All right, there's our bacon. We're gonna put that in, just like that. Now we're gonna do our pork. That one over what we wanna use here. This piece. Yeah, at least that piece. There we go. I don't want these to be too big. I want them to break down, get nice and tender. I'm hoping I can cook this whole dish for about 3 hours. Now I've soaked the beans overnight. We'll get to those in a few minutes. They are looking really good. We'll do this second one here. It's a little fatty. It's a pork shoulder. It's supposed to be fatty. That fat breaks down. It just creates more and more flavor as you're cooking. So this is perfect cut of meat for this dish we're doing here. Okay, so there's our pork. I think that's enough. That's plenty of meat. 4 of us, pot of beans. Let's start cooking. All right, so we're ready to cook. Here we are. So I got my cast iron pan heating up. This is what we're gonna cook in today. But I wanna show you these beans. These beans have been soaking overnight. These are ready. And what's really cool, you can see they've blown up. They're just huge. This was just like a small little bowl of beans and they just totally expanded. So you really wanna soak your beans overnight. What I also do is I take a piece of onion, just a half an onion. I let that soak in there with them overnight too. Just adds a little bit of extra flavor. It's gonna start infusing early, so we're already starting the flavor process last night. Feel the pan is starting to get warm. Let's add our bacon and let's start cooking. So we're just gonna slowly start to render the fat out of the bacon. We're gonna use that fat to start cooking everything in these beans. Next, we're going to do these hot links. Let's go ahead and just pour those right in there. Let's add the ham. And finally, we'll do the pork. Now we're gonna get this all flattened out in there, and we're gonna add our Cajun spice to this. We'll put a real nice layer on there. This is where we're gonna start building our flavors. All right, guys, so my pork is almost all browned off. It smells amazing. I put that Cajun seasoning on there. Did you see what I used? It smells amazing. So I use this Cajun seasoning. This is just like I bought it at one of the box stores. I actually like it. It's good. It's not real high in sodium. And it's got a really nice spice level. It's got good flavor, so I like to use it. It's gonna add a great Cajun bite to these beans that we're doing. So at this point, we're all browned off. I'm gonna go ahead and reincorporate all these other meats we had. So we're gonna take the bacon, it goes back in. Our hot link, that one goes back in. And our ham, including that little bone, hey, that goes back in. I'm just gonna give this all a stir for the first time, get it all mixed up together really well. I feel like this alone can just go on a taco and you're good to go. But we're gonna fix it up with beans, with some veggies, let it go all afternoon. Okay, so we got this all mixed up. Let's add our veggies in there. Guys, here's the veggies that we pureed. So we're gonna go ahead and just put these all in there. Then I have the star of the show. That's our beans. We're gonna give this a nice stir. I'm feeling like I should have used a bigger pot. And I'm just gonna go in with some beef stock here, guys. We're gonna get this all covered. Okay, so we've got our broth in here. We're giving it a nice stir. It's all getting really well mixed up. We got all the flavor from all those meats. We have that Cajun seasoning that we put all over that pork, which I can already smell just coming out of there. I'm gonna add a little smoked paprika. I like to use this Mexican oregano. It's just a little bit more floral, more fragrancy. So I'm gonna put a little handful here. It's dried out. I'm just gonna give that a little crumble just like this. Kind of break it open, like release the oils a little bit. I let that go in there. I've also got a couple of bay leaves. I always throw a couple bay leaves in with my beans. So we'll throw one. Maybe we have some big flavors going on here, and these are little bay leaves. So I'm gonna drop 3 of them in there. 3 little bay leaves. Of course, we're gonna go with fresh cracked pepper. Gotta have that pepper in there, guys. And I'm gonna go a little bit more of that Cajun seasoning. And I have a little bit of this Kinder's barbecue blend. It just brings out this, has a little sweetness to it actually, and I think it balances really well with the heat we're trying to put in here. So that's just, I put just a little bit. I don't want to go too much. This stuff can be a little salty, but I'm not putting a lot of sodium in here, so this works out good. And I will salt it at the end. I don't want to put any right now. I want to see what kind of flavors I get out of all this. And then we'll finish it at the end. We'll let it come to a simmer right now. We're gonna throw on the lid. We're gonna let this go for a couple hours, and we're gonna check back every half hour, every 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We'll see what it looks like. So the beans have another hour to cook. It's time to make the rice. So I'm just gonna use a simple long grain rice. It's a basic rice. And I'm not using your standard pot. I'm using this shallow pot. This is what I like to use. I seem to get really good results using this. So let me show you how I do it. I'm gonna take my rice, and I'm gonna measure it out here. This is a 2-cup measuring cup. And I'm gonna get it heaping, and I'll keep that in mind because I'm gonna use this as a measurement when I do my water as well. So I got that, and I'm gonna pour that in here. Now I'm gonna put some water in here. Okay, and I'm gonna get in here with my fingers, and I'm gonna just move this all around really, really good and kind of agitate it in there. Trying to release some of those starches right off of it, get them kind of rinsed really well. It's gonna create a real cloudy water. And I'm gonna go pour this water out. I'm gonna repeat this method 3 times. We're gonna get this all done. So let's get this going. We'll refill it one more time. I'm gonna get that agitated again. Now I've poured most of that water off. I'm gonna get my measuring cup now. I'm gonna go right to 2 cups. We'll do one more. Just under 2 cups. Okay, so I've got my rinsed rice and I got my water. We're in the pot, we're ready to go on the stove. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna let it come to a simmer for 10 straight minutes. So it's heating up right now. We got the rice going, we got the red beans working, pork, sausage, bacon, hot links. It's loaded. This is gonna be it. So we're almost at a simmer. I'm gonna give this one little final stir, and then we're not gonna stir it anymore. We're gonna put the lid on it, and we are not gonna remove the lid. We're gonna let it simmer for 10 minutes, and we're gonna turn that heat off and let it just sit there for another 10 minutes on that warm burner. That's it. And we pull the lid off, we give it a little fluff. Throw that lid back on just to keep it warm, and you're good to go. Okay, so we're ready. I want to show you guys this. Just smells so good. I can smell like a little bit of spice in there. I can smell all that pork that broke down and just released all this flavor. I'm really excited to get in there and try this. So let's go ahead and plate some up and see how it is. So I'm using the old waiter bowl today. So we'll start with the beans. Let's go ahead and get a couple of nice hearty scoops. Oh yeah. Up with some meat. There we go. Some juice. Juice. Yeah, there we go. Throw some of this right on the center there and on the top. One more little scoop there. Bit of greens on there, make it look pretty. Wow, so look at that, guys. Red beans and rice. It smells so good. It looks so hearty. It's snowing outside, you know. We're in the middle of a blizzard again here. And this is just gonna be beautiful on this cold night. Cheers, everyone. The pork just falls apart. It's full of flavor. I get that little bit of spice from the seasoning on it. The beans are earthy and just like really, really hearty. It just is delicious. And they've soaked up the broth. And it's just like really, this whole thing, everything is just so flavorful. I want to try the hot link. That's where a lot of this flavor comes from. That's popping with heat too. Wow, that's nice. It just wouldn't be a proper bowl of beans without a little hot sauce in it. So we're gonna open up the Grand Cayman Cayenne hot sauce. Oh, it smells perfect. It's a pepper sauce. That's exactly what I want for my red beans and rice. Let's get in there and try it. Ooh, it went a little heavy. I always pour heavy on these things. Let's try it. Totally elevates the whole dish. Awesome. Man, what a treat. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Cheers.